the best part of the trip. This is the trip, the best part.
I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody. Instead of a bum. Let's face it.
On the waterfront.
Okay, who do we got here?
What do we got? So
we have a lot of floppy-haired men. This guy in the pea green suit in the front here. I don't know these people. They can't be cops.
I think they're supposed to be that other contingent of faceless, nameless, voiceless narcs that they have zipping around the chapel while they're talking. I mean, there's like three people right next to him. You can't hear a word they're saying. Only Hanson and Penhall's dialogue is projected. Well, and they're the ones they just like they dance around when they're running into Fuller's office.
Well, they send the Jump Street folks out into high schools at this stage to do undercover work.
By the way, there's no high school in this episode at all.
Yeah, are there that many high schools in Evergreen Metropolis to send all of these people to?
Well, let me try to answer that question from you do it. Maybe you can do it here, and I'll do it where I'm from. So on Long Island, right? And as a basketball official, you get to see the proximity of everything. You know, if I'm in a precinct, let me say, Bayport, Sayville, Connecticut, East Islip, Bellport, Patchogue. You know, I mean, in my immediate area, there's probably 25, 30 high schools.
Jeez.
Which within the size of maybe like but there has to be trouble within those high schools.
Exactly.
For you to go in.
Major crime.
So how many of those really have trouble? Right. You'd only go to the same ones. The trouble high schools where I am would be like Brentwood, Central Islip, Longwood, you know, and you'd be going in repeatedly to the same schools over and over again. And what happens when there's a dry spell?
Exactly.
You just hang out?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know if they are sent out to actual police departments in Vancouver to assist, grab coffee. Well, I don't know.
As the story goes, and we'll get to this, and I guess in the pilot, Stephen Canal claims the origin of this show, and I don't know if Patrick Hasberg is in on this. He's said he was researching something for another cop show he was producing, and he sat in an LA precinct, and what appeared to be a teenage kid comes in, plops down at a desk, pulls out like a bunch of books and notebooks, and plops a gun down on top of the books. And he's like, what the hell is that? What is going on here? What is that 15-year-old kid? He's like, no, he's actually 22. He's an undercover cop in high school. He's like, what? And so he started to poke around about what that whole, narc thing is. And they said, yeah, we want to get at the crimes before these kids. We want to kind of nip it in the bud before these kids become adult. We want to get to before this, they blossom into full blown, super criminals.
Yeah,
almost like the Teen Titans in DC Comics.
I can only relate it back to when I was in high school in the immediate area, like in terms of my basketball league. We had like 6 high schools. Now in the big city closest to me, 15, 20 high schools, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, if there's only one of these, and I think there's only one in whatever this stupid evergreen city they won't name, you can make a case that they'd be busy enough, and you can make a case that they'd be spread out enough. I mean, the big criticism of this show is, now I hear from whether it's the Six to Jump podcast or whoever, oh, come on, wouldn't they know? That's the kid, that kid Tom's from. Did you have friends in other schools? I didn't.
No, not really.
So they act like you're collaborating with kids in other schools all the time, and you just hung out with kids in your own, for the most part. I mean, I had a cousin, in another school. I knew some of his friends, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you could get away with this if you were clever enough. They don't dot all their I's. They're not, this is such a crazy concept to try to, so they have glitches and stuff and blind spots, and but I think you could, if you're clever enough and you dot your I's and you cover your own ass and you make a chart of what you've done and where you've been, you could get away with this.
Yeah.
Sometimes
wouldn't you have to, like, if you're going back to the same high school for another case, wouldn't you have to, like, wait 4 years before you sent the same cops in? So maybe you could get away with having
once it happens, right? Well, that's exactly right. That's a great point. It's never brought up.
All right,
once you make a big bust there, you'd have to let the dust settle. All the kids that knew about this would have to graduate so you could pull it off again. Because any new kid that came in the middle of a semester, you'd be like, oh, well, he's an ARC.
I think the most they do here is they comb Depp's hair in his face to make him look different, so they could send him in again to the same high school. To Depp's credit, Stephen Williams, when I play the audio of him, Depp used to fight with producers exactly that, because they want him to be Tiger Beat Boy and 16 and what are the teen magazines? Big Bop,
yes.
Bop. Oh my gosh! No, you got them. Those are the ones.
Yeah, and they have these smoldering, swarthy Greco Depp commercials, and that's how they're billing him, mm-hmm. and they want to, just a vintage teen idol, and they want you to see his face, and they want you to see. So Depp's not interested in this, and he's saying, like, no, we're undercover. We should go undercover. Put me in garb and costumes and makeup, whatever. Let's disguise. Let's go. We're undercover. Why are we showing our own faces? We should be concealing ourselves as often as possible. Mm-hmm. And they didn't know how to tell him, look, Johnny, I don't know how they worded it to him, but they're like, look, we're trying to attract teenage girls. It's our number one demographic, and we beat the networks every week in that demographic. We're not putting you in Swami garb to make you look like Haji from Johnny Quest.
This is the best part of the trip. This is the trip, the best part.